I think yonke into right.
Wena? Okay.
Ewe,
Xa ndifuna ukuthetha kanene ndilibele
i-screen.
i-agenda
Ucofa apha ku-share screen.
eh.
Ewe, uyayivula neyivule ivule ibe phaa kwilantisi kwi-screen, and then ucofa u-share screen and then uyotshuza yona.
Ndivulile ngoku. Oh, ndichuze yona. Iyabonakala ne?
Yes, ewe.
Okay.
Iyabonakala.
Hayi ke.
Mm, mm.
Mandivalele.
So iapology le yi-one kaMinister. Wadela lapha kuWhatsApp.
Yeah, ndibonile. Okay. Hayi, ndivarhele yena kulaa meeting uzawufika mhlawumbi phaa ngoo-10.
Oh, okay.
Sibuze
Ofisini yakhe.
lapha eofisini. Ndizambuza but zawuphuma ndizaya kwenye xa izawuqala i-meeting. Ndizambuza emva kwale meeting
Oh,
uba batheni phaa. I think
oh,
babhizi nayo le nto yokuba mazibuye zonke iikomiti. Yiloo nto endifowadela laa
oh.
message. Undifowadele phaa laa message. Ah, but
Okay.
ndizamqala ukuphesweyida ndithi masike sime ngoba besiyenzile le until iphele le i-term. Sibuyile
Kuzokuphela
next
le
year.
term because sekushiyeka ii-meetings because laa nto igama.
Mm,
Mm,
hayi, ndizawutsho phaa kuyo.
mm.
Ndizawutsho phaa kuyo. Ndizawutsho. Yho, usisi wakho wandiqumbela.
Oh,
Ondiqumbela ungxosa. Uyakhumbula mos uba egruphini ndabhala uba ngo-11:15 siyaphuma. Yabo,
ayikhange
i-shuttle
ndiyilo. Khambe ndiyilokhi laa nto ikwazi uba angathanda nongena sathetha.
Oh,
Masiyivule. Kame phaa kwi-waiting room. Emily waiting room, yeah. Ewe.
so that hotel mos siyaphuma ngo-11:15.
Eh,
Wonke umntu waphuma wahlala ezimotweni.
eh.
Ndamfowunela apho usisi akaphendule okokuqala ifowuni, umane eyidropha. Ekugqibeleni ayiphendule athi yena ubone u-12:30. Phofu singu-20 to 12 ixesha.
Hayi.
Athi yena ubone u-11:30 kuWhatsApp. Ndithi hayi
But
sisi
still ke ngoku 20 to 12 ixesha.
eh
Uthini?
ndithi hayi ke
Ibiyi-20 to 12 nje ixesha.
ndithi hayi sisi kamvule ke. Amvule athi okay. Yho, ashawutise emva koko yena khange alale. Okay, busy yinto ye-social services iqonda heyi hayi inguye
Ingenaphi
yedwa.
loo nto?
Asingendawo nguye yedwa umntu
Ingena.
wonke uhlele ezimotweni kulindwe yena yedwa.
Mm.
Wabesishawutisa yena ulambile khange atye nokutya. Heyi.
Ungxakabaneyo.
Hayi, awakashawutisi uya eKaManzi staff sodwa akasishawutisi uya e-airport. Fowunela
Mm.
neetshomi zakhe efowunini ndiqonda eyi hayi ke asiyazi ithe
Mm.
cwaka. Novaldo uyahleka ngoku sipaka imoto uthi lo sisi unjani.
Mm.
Uthi yena khange atye nokutya ebebhizi. Yena ubone u-11:30 akangabona u-11:15. Yho.
Mm.
Wandikhumbela
Yebo.
akathetha nothetha nami eokota qonda hayi mandimyeke.
Hayi, uzawukhutshwa yena uba akaqondanga. Ekhutshwa kwezi komiti uzawukhutshwa nalapha.
Hayi,
Yho.
ndiyaqonda mandimyeke. Siyamfowunela ke phaa ngoba imemba besezipenika kaloku ngoba zifikile zona phaa ngo-11 bese siphumile thina.
Eh.
Mm. Hayi, usixelela ngezinto yena besenza ii-changes zaseCape Town neentoni. Neentoni. But hayi,
Oh.
uyoba rayithi kodwa. Hayi, Joy. right, but hayi akho nto noko. And ndimthumele notshiya uthi rayithi laa reports rinde uWIP ke ngoku. Andikholwa noba uzayifunda ke yena.
Yena usemeeting ngo-8 yena.
Hmm?
Ubona uthe meeting ingu-8 phaa egrupini.
He, hayi uthetha ngee-meetings zeewipari yena qha uyenzeke igroup erong. Kaloku ii-meetings zeewipari zihlala kusasa.
Uthe select meeting. Uthi
Uthe
committee
select.
meeting kaloku. Andimazi yintoni ekurimindeni, andimazi yintoni ekurimindeni ii-members nge-meeting because sithi abarimindayo. Yena
Hayi, okay, komiti. Heyi, hayi. Ayisomsebenzi wakhe mostly. Hayi, inethiwekhi yakho imbi.
ndimane ndiqhawuka apha.
Mhm.
Mane
Hey,
jikeleze 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 iqhawuke phinde
yho,
ingene.
yho. Nabuya kule veki, nge-weekend.
Ewe, e-e.
Mhm. Okay.
Awubandi. Eyi.
Awuphathanga mpahla singayisa.
Hayi weather
Hayi,
yalapha.
nemvula kaloku lixesha layo i-Eastern Cape imvula ngoku. Hayi,
Iyagalela straight.
iyamosha.
Ingaphinde ndivule waiting room.
Kayivule, bendizawutsho. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members. Good morning to the officials from the department. The time is 10 o'clock, Chair. We have a quorum. Thank you, Chair.
Morning.
Recording in progress.
Good honorable members. Good morning, officials, the support staff that is present in the meeting. Let me thank you, Mr. Kola, for informing us about the state of readiness of our meeting. Our meeting is straightforward. I must also extend my greeting to Deputy Minister, because we received an apology from the Honorable Minister that the Deputy Minister will be taking over and is going to be the one that is holding the reins of our today's meetings. Our meeting, honorable members, is taking place after our oversight last week. A very intense program that as the NSOP, we must applaud ourselves for doing our oversight role as mandated by the Constitution. At least we know, as this seventh administration, where we are. Also, it is the beginning of the term. It's something that is very courageous, so that when we're coming back, we know what we do and what we'll be following. So by those few words, I'm trying to welcome everyone in our meeting. I will plead with the Secretariat just to give us some apologies. Yes, Stando, are you around, or is Mr. Kula that is still acting on your behalf?
Morning, Chair. It's me, Mr. Kula, still acting, Chair.
Mr. Kula, you can proceed. Mr. Kula. Okay, we will follow up with the item with the. Well, thank you, Mr. Kula. Mr. Kula, is it you that is on the reins, or?
Yes, it's me, Chair. Sis Nothando will be back next week.
Mr. Kula,
Yes, Chair. Can you hear me, Chair? Chair, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Chair?
so honorable members, I just need just a 2-minute interruption, just 1 minute, because I'm not sure who's leading us, whether it's Mr. Kula, because he's not responding.
It's me, Chair. Can you hear me? Chair?
Good morning, Chair. We can hear Mr. Kula.
Oh, yes, I can also hear him. Maybe the chair got a problem on his side.
Hello, Chair.
Colleagues, I think the chair's sound is muted on his side. I sometimes do that on my computer as well, that I put the sound off. So I just messaged the chairperson to say that I think his sound on his side is muted and he needs to raise his sound.
Sorry about that, honorable members. I think I have a problem here with my with the technology, but can we adopt the agenda as it is appearing. Will you fly the agenda, Mr. Kula?
The agenda is flighted, Chair. Can you see it?
So that we adopt the agenda and then we go to apologies.
Chairperson, Chairperson, I move to adopt the agenda. It's Jean Adrianse moving to adopt the agenda, if you can hear me.
Chairperson, and this is Tammy Breert. I will second the adoption.
Hello, Chair.
That glitch, I've managed to correct it. I think I had some smaller nyana problem here in my desktop, but nonetheless it has been addressed now. Let me once again apologize and also welcome everyone in the meeting. Your Honorable Deputy Minister, with the collective that you are with of officials, honorable members of the committee, and also the officials that are supporting this committee, and honorable members indeed. As I've alluded that our meeting is followed by intense oversight that we had last week. The one that I can argue that it was a successful program, constitutional mandatory session that we had with both the province of Gauteng, also in the Western Cape. However, the draft documents with regard to, the reports are ready for the consumption of the members and also for implementation as well, going to be moving forward with those recommendations that we made. Our agenda items are as follows. Will you assist us for the convenience purposes, Mr. Kula? It's opening and welcoming, the one that I've already have done, the adoption of the agenda, and apologies. Indeed, in the apologies, we've already received the apology of the Honorable Minister, of which we will note it when we are arriving at it. Can we adopt the agenda, honorable members?
Excuse me, Chairperson. Honorable Naledi Sharma, she's on study leave. Please accept her apology as well.
We are starting with the adoption of the agenda. We are going to come to the apologies as per the agenda.
Okay,
Can we
Honourable
adopt
Chair.
Sorry.
Can we move for the
Honourable-
adoption?
Yes, Honourable Chairperson, as indicated before, I move for the adoption of the agenda. It's Jean Adrianse.
Thank you, Honorable Adrianse. Any seconder for the adoption of the agenda?
Chairperson, I will second. It's Tammy Breert.
Thank you very much, Honorable Breert. Our next item is our apologies. Can we receive a formal apology now of the Honorable Minister?
Morning, Chair. Once again, the Honorable Minister sent an apology. He's in an official trip to Tanzania as from the 28th to the 2nd of November, Chair. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kula. Any other apology?
Yes, Chair, please accept the apology of Honorable Naledi Sherwa. She is on study leave.
Yes, thank you very much. I remember that one was formally made, but it must be recorded or on a continuous basis so that as she already done so formally. Thank you, Honorable Member. Any other apology? In the absence of none, can we proceed now to our item? Honorable Deputy Minister, the floor is yours, and also you will be responsible for that part of the presentations, opening remarks, and so on until we are done in terms of the the agenda. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Let me greet you, Chairperson, Honorable Fanny. Greetings to, I think I'm audible, Minister, Chairperson. Am I?
Yes, I will plead with the Honorable Minister to also, if possible, just to be visible. I will hide mine, and then you will take over, and then
Let me be visible for a short while, Honorable Chair. And where is this? Chairperson?
Yes.
Oh.
Honorable, yes.
Yeah, I was just saying, I know my connectivity is not good at all, Chairperson, but let me try to be visible. But I would really plead with the committee to say, if possible, can I be allowed to switch off my video so that I can be assured of my connectivity as I continue with the short presentation as I move forward. But I really wanted to assure you that you are not talking to the robot, as we are known of the robots as
Honorable Deputy Minister, no problem.
I'm alive, I'm here, Deputy Honorable Chair and honorable members of the committee. But I just wanted to greet you. We are here and we are honored and pleased that we appear before you as the department. We always say when we feel humbled, and we always say it's one platform where we share ideas, we share what we do as the department, and whenever we come back from Parliament, whether it's the NA or whether it's the select committee, as we are here before you, the NCOP, we really say we come back as different people having learned a lot, and the contributions that you make towards the work that we do, we always come back having gained more experience and being more enhanced in making sure that we do our work even in a more better way. And we are looking forward to that after the discussions that we are going to be having with you today. And I say that in full understanding that the National Council of Provinces, fully understanding your constitutional mandate, that you are mandated to make sure that you play your oversight role, you hold us accountable, and how much your interest is in what you do over all the provinces, and how much you play that oversight in making sure that you promote that synergy between all the three spheres of government, and that critical role that you play in the life of our department. That is why really whenever we come to you, we make sure that we play that. We come to you being very respectfully whenever you invite us. I know Mr. Apology for Minister Nzimande has been tabled, and he said I must really pass those words as to say he had wished also to be here with us because he also wanted to show that he really value the contributions that we know that we were going to be getting from you. Today, the business of the day, we are here to present the two reports, that is the annual report and the APP for our department. So I'm here with the leadership, the senior management of the department. But before I hand over to them, allow me, Chairperson and the honorable members, just to give the few highlights of our departments, of my department that we are here today with. Let me touch on the vaccine innovation and manufacturing strategy that we have in the department. A health innovation is the implementation of the vaccine innovation and manufacturing strategy. That is what we know as VIMS. My minister always say, if we want to remember this strategy, we must always think of a VIM that as we grew up, you usually use a VIM to clean our pots and our dishes. So that is one strategy that when we look at as the department, we feel very proud. This is a strategy through which we plan to enhance our country's capacity to develop vaccines, therapeutic and diagnostic capacity, targeting various diseases relevant to Global South, with particular emphasis on the African continent. Extensive work has already been done to map out a new trajectory for domestic development of South Africa's health innovation system. The next phase of work in the VIMS program will focus on raising levels of collaboration on vaccine research, technological innovation, human resources and infrastructure development linked to wider efforts to bolster the resilience in our economy and our health economy. By doing so, the DSI hopes to contribute significantly to South Africa's pandemic preparedness. And why we are so much interested, honorable members, in this vaccine manufacturing, we have learned in a very hard way our lessons during COVID, when as a country, we were found wanting where we couldn't produce our own vaccine. And after that, we see now and again the pandemics that keeps on coming. Now we're faced with Mpox. We've got a lot of threats when it comes to that. So it's high time where as a country, we must use our capacity as to say, what is it that we do when it comes to our own capacity in manufacturing the vaccines? And as the department, is one mandate that we have been mandated with, and a lot of work has been done, and we can assure the committee today that we are on the right track. And it's one thing where we're saying, when it comes to this manufacturing strategy, we hope and we are saying we are going to deliver when it comes to that, but the presentation is still going to be made when it comes to that. When it comes to the commercialization and local manufacturing opportunities, we concluded a collaboration agreement with the Public Investment Corporation to support the commercialization of local manufacturing opportunities arising from public-funded intellectual property. 53 million has been provided as an initial investment to support women-led SMEs in the hydrogen economy. Again, it's one area where we are saying when it comes to the issues of energy, the hydrogen economy, we are playing a very, very vital role as the department, working closely with the Department of Electricity and Energy. And just last week, we had a conference that was coordinated by SANED, where we are saying as a country, where are we when it comes to the issues of green hydrogen? What are we doing as a country when it comes to the issues of greening our country and decarbonization and decreasing when it comes to the emissions? So we're very high on that as a department, and we want to report and we'll share that with the portfolio committee. So those are the highlights. We've got so many of them. Talking to the issue of solar energy research facility, we are saying as a department, we are committed also in establishing the National Solar Energy Research Facility. The facility will be the platform to review and de-risk new technologies, as well as supporting technology transfer and localization as described in the Renewable Energy Master Plan. So again, those are the highlights where we are saying we are bringing up to the committee today. We've got so many. I just picked up the few where we are saying we pride ourselves as the department to share with the committee. But as we'll be going through our plans, you'll see and hear more from our officials to say where do we want to move and where are we moving towards. But as we continue, Honorable Chairperson, yes, we have got highlights, but as we'll be reporting even on the performance, we do have some areas where we will say we could not meet our targets. Yes, we have performed very well on the approved targets that we came with to you. We do have even the remedies where we are saying we couldn't meet the targets as we have planned, as to say, what were the hindrances and what is it that we plan to do to make sure that when it comes to those targets that we did not meet, what could have been the contributory factors for that? And we are willing, we are here to discuss with the committee and say, what is it that we can do more? But most of the time, some of other things that could have been the contributory factors were those things that were outside the external factors that contributed and made us not to meet some of the targets, but they are not that much as to say those targets that we could not meet, like the L-band target when it comes to the Meerkat extension, the antennas that are there. But the officials are going to lead us and have those discussions to say where we couldn't meet, but you are going to be understanding and we are going to have those discussions moving forward. Allow me then, Chairperson and the members of the committee, to hand over to our acting DG, Ms. Zwane. Ms. Zwane is going to lead the presentation that we are coming up with to you today, being held by the respecting DDGs in their respective divisions. Then after that, we'll entertain the discussions from the committee. But also what I will want to report to you, Chairperson, and the committee. Today, we are having a very short cabinet committee meeting where I will just go just for an hour, then I will come back. I know as the senior officials will be presenting towards the end of the meeting before we wrap up, I will be back in the meeting. So I can assure you as we wrap up the meeting, I will be back, I will be part of the meeting. It will just be an hour, I promise. I will go and, because there is a presentation since the minister is not around. So now I have to play both parts today to go and represent that side on the cabinet committee. I was just out, I just requested to come and open this meeting. I will go and close that side, then come back to and rejoin this committee meeting. But I promise I will leave you for this hour on the capable hands of the leadership of the acting DDG and the officials, if the Honorable Chairperson and the committee allows me to do that. Thank you very much, Chair.
No, granted, Honorable Deputy Minister, we also appreciate what you are currently doing, understanding the load of work that you are confronted with. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, honorable members of the Select Committee. I will be doing two presentations. There's quite a number of us as a team from the Department of Science and Innovation, where we would be Science, Technology and Innovation, where we would be presenting the annual report for the year 2023-24, as well as the annual performance plan for the current financial year, which is 2024-2025. I would also like to request that I switch off my video so that there are no disruptions, as well as request that I share the presentation, but I'll be sharing under the name of Gugulethu Zwane because I'm using two screens share. Chair.
You are granted, DT.
Okay, thank you very much, Chairperson. Like I said, we will be presenting the annual report for 23-24 for the department. So the outline, it's quite a longish presentation, but I'll try my best to do it within the set time. The presentation outline is our vision and mission. We do our outcome goals, overall performance, also do our performance highlights, and we also zoom in into performance overview per program, and then I will then hand over to the CFO to then take us through financial performance. So our vision and mission as a department is that we vision that we would have increased well-being and prosperity through science, technology, and innovation, with the mission to provide leadership and enabling environment and resources for science, technology, and innovation in support of South Africa's development. We are guided by the 6 outcome goals, which are a transformed, inclusive, responsive, coordinated, and efficient national system of innovation, commonly known as the NSI, human capabilities and skills for the economy and for development, increased knowledge generation and innovation outputs. Then we have knowledge utilization for economic development as well as for inclusive development. And then we also have innovation in support of a capable and developmental state. In terms of our performance as a department, we had a total of 71 targets. We achieved 62, which is 82%, and we could not achieve 9 of those. If we compare to the prior years, we have improved from 22-23, however, not as good as we did in 21-22. In terms of our performance highlights, under the human resources and skills for economic development, as we know that the NDP recognizes human capital development as important in addressing South Africa's pressing unemployment, poverty, and inequality challenges. The department offers, through its entity, postgraduate bursaries and internships, and those that were awarded for the financial year through the National Research Innovation were as displayed in terms of BTech, honors, and masters. We had a total of 4,565, and we have then broken down the stats in terms of how many of those are Black, how many of those are women, how many of those are Black women, and how many of those are people with disabilities, as well as how many of those are South African. We also have doctoral students that have been awarded bursaries to the number of 2,077. 1,592 of those are Black, 1,920 are women, Black women are 929, and then people with disabilities are 29, with 1,881 being South Africans. And then in terms of the internships, it's just above 1,000, with almost 1,000 being Black, 666 women, 653 Black women, and people with disabilities 10. And the total number of interns are all South Africans. And then continuing with the skills and human capability, we have what we call the National Science and Technology Forum, which recognizes outstanding contributions in science, engineering, and technology and innovation in South Africa. We also have our IP office, management office, in terms of the National Science and Technology Forum Awards. There was an award which looked at innovation through an SMME. This is a category that has been there since 2009. The collaboration aims at encouraging creators of intellectual property to transform their research and development outcomes into tangible products, processes, and services. We've also had World IP Day celebrations across the country, and the main one was held by the Nelson Mandela University, where we also partnered with the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, CIPC, and TIA, where attendees were educated on IP rights and their role in the South Africa's national system of innovation. There's also been IP-wise sessions held at TVET College in Giyani, and Tzaneen campuses in Limpopo, which attracted a total of 232 delegates. Since 2020, we've made significant strides by successfully hosting and presenting 15 IP awareness sessions at 3 TVET colleges, namely Sibande, Letaba, and Tshwane North TVET colleges. And these have in total attracted over 400 students and staff members. We also are proud to recognize that South Africa is only one of 10 international hosts of the WIPO summer schools. This together again with our own NIPMO, the CIPC and WIPO, hosted a 10-day summer school on IP and tech transfer last year in November, December, at the University of Limpopo. Also, a highlight of the event was a competition in which 5 high schools from different regions in the province presented their innovative ideas, where the prize went to the famous Mbilwi Secondary School from Thohoyandou, where they received a prize of 20,000 rand, and emphasizing the event's commitment to nurturing innovation and empowering future generations. In terms of the increased knowledge generation and innovation outputs, we inaugurated, there was an inauguration of the South African Isotope facility, which was established by the NRF's Itemba Labs. The purpose of this facility is a strategic project aimed at expanding the current portfolio of particles accelerators, thereby increasing both research and training capacity and production capacity for radio isotopes. The project will offer a huge opportunity to train the next generation of accelerator physicists, engineers, and technicians, and also the establishment of the South African isotope facility is also an example of the contribution that South African scientists that are making to the improvement of people's health and quality of life through basic science. Continuing with increased knowledge, we have the research, development, and innovation flagship programs through the energy flagship programs, which are in the areas of renewable energy and energy storage along the hydrogen and fuel cell value chain. We have had a total of 31 publications produced, 2 IP rights filed, 1 was granted, and 29 knowledge application products were generated. We have also managed to have a national conference of the right of passage for a female child, which is called Ukukhuliswa Kwentombazane. We did this in collaboration with the University of Northwest, which was an inaugural national conference in Mpumalanga in 2023. The purpose was mainly to focus on the African knowledge systems, particularly the rite of passage, and also aiming to foster cross-cultural exchanges and document norms and standards and experience. This event integrated intellectual discussions with excursions to key fertility sites, enhancing participants' grasp of the underlying theoretical framework of these cultural practices. We also had the deployment of the cold CO2X technology at Kelvin Power Station. This is advanced technology for capturing and converting sulfur dioxide emissions from coal-fired power stations and converts these into substances like ammonium carbonate and ammonium sulfate, which can be used as fertilizer salts. The benefits is the significant reduction in greenhouse emissions, contributing to environmental sustainability, therefore giving us improved air quality. And then we have a program called the Agricultural Bioeconomy Innovation Partnership Program, the ABIPP funding, which has funded is funded through 14 multi-stakeholder programs in the agricultural sector. These could be wheat breeding for climate resilience, cassava and cotton plant health, human capital development, and red meat industry research. It has leveraged a total of 91 million in co-funding from various trusts and Grain SA coordinated programs. And the increase in co-funding was also due to an oil and protein seeds development trust project towards creating job opportunities in soya planting and agro-processing for food sustainability. Continuing with knowledge utilization for economic development, there was also a construction of a mobile demonstration plant to produce ethanol. We supported this construction of a mobile demonstration plant from organic waste at Stellenbosch University. The plant is piloting the fermentation of paper sludge waste to ethanol under industrial conditions with the aim of unlocking opportunities for a broad range of industries to convert their organic waste into ethanol and other high-value platform chemicals. SAPI has agreed to host the plant, which has been deployed in the Tugela mill in Mandeni, KwaZulu-Natal, until June 30 of the current year. Then subsequently, the plant was expected to be moved to Mpact Ltd to pursue paper sludge fermentation at their pulp and paper mill in Springs here in Gauteng in the second half of 2024. And also, in addition, this plant will be used to demonstrate food waste to ethanol fermentation. With the methanol-based fuel cell system done in partnership with the Department of Minerals and Energy, we were able to deploy 5 kilowatts methanol-based fuel cell at the Department of Minerals and Energy's building to provide backup power to their reception area, just in case there are power outages. The Taylor Blend is a health intelligence company that creates 100% personalized nutritional supplements based on the consumer's digital health profile. They have internationally patented technology that allows them to offer palatable personalized supplements in microformats like powder. The invested funds from DSI was 3 million. It's a Gauteng-based company with a team of 8, 5 of whom are Black and 3 of whom are women. We also have Kina Health, an app-based telemedicine solution in South Africa, which has to date facilitated more than 20,000 consultations. You can talk directly to a nurse, doctor, or mental health hospital using text, voice, or video. The app is currently available on both Android and Apple app stores. The funds invested were 10 million with 91 million co-investment. It's also Gauteng-based with a team of 26, 19 of which are Black, 15 women, and 13 of which are youth. In terms of indigenous knowledge-based technology innovation supports, we have the Joanne Herbs, a Black female producing cannabis scalp treatment and CBD infused. This is Limpopo based in Makado. We have Mokana, a Black male producing cannabis toner and face cream. This is in the Eastern Cape in King Williamstown. We have Mimi Trading, a Black female producing CBD oil, drops, and cannabis hair food, which is based in Northwest. We also have Shanti Natural Care, a Black female producing cannabis shower gel and pain relief cream. This is based in the Western Cape, Atlantis. There is also what we call the Nyandeni Smart Village. This is an update because it's an ongoing project. It did achieve a milestone with the completion and submission of the Smart Village Master Plan, guiding the development in Nyandeni and surrounding rural areas. The project is now focusing on land ownership process, ensuring compliance with the interim protection of informal land rights. The community is also actively involved and participates in community resolution process and acquires permission to occupy certificates, which is facilitated by the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development. We are giving here an example of locally development technology to improve service delivery acquired through the TADF low-cost geyser. The technology is low-cost geyser. The sector is under renewable energy. It is a low-cost solar water heater, which offers numerous benefits to low-income households. The geyser is 100% South African in terms of design to manufacture and materials. It has a projected lifespan of over 30 years and almost indestructible. It's easy to install with no leaks and corrosion, and is impact resistant. And it's been tested to heat water to 56 degrees Celsius at sea level. People that are involved, McNeil, Township Green, Nick Swart, Pioneer Plastics, Charmaine Sinclair, community-based organization. This is partnering with local communities and municipalities. The 40 units of the local solar geyser will be deployed in the Knysna and Polokwane municipalities over the 12-month period. And also the project will be implemented together with the local community. Another example is the Memeza community safety in the ICT sector. It aims to enable community response models, strengthen community impact by SGBV, violence and crime, with the ability to easily broadcast the need for assistance to local support networks, such as the Community Policing Forum and the SAPS and community members, enabling citizens to citizen policing. Who is involved? We have the founder, Tulile Mthethwa, who also worked with the municipality for deployment, which is in KZN. The partnerships are Civilian Secretariat of Police, Community Policing Forum, and the Uku municipality. The strategy is to manufacture and install 349 community alarms using units over an 18-month period through its existing endorsement with the Civilian Secretariat for Police. Also, another example is still in the ICT sector, the video remote interpreting. This is a proudly South African telecom relay service that remotely connects deaf people to qualified sign language interpreters in real time, enabling them to communicate more effectively and gain access to information and services, and thus increase accessibility to education, health, safety, and providing myriad social benefits. It's a brainchild of Jabu Blose, also in partnership with government departments for deployment, as well as the SAPS. This will be deployed at 5 SAPS stations in Gauteng and over a 12-month period. We have the South African Sanitation Technology Enterprise Program, which is designed to accelerate innovative off-grid and non-SWAT sanitation technology and services to the market. This compromises of the public sector and also rolling out sanitation services and private sector seeking sanitation systems for their commercial buildings and new development, well, as responsible corporate stewards wishing to impact on climate change and social challenges and sanitation provision. It works with commercial partners who have designed their own innovative sanitation solutions and have licensed innovations from the global Reinvent and Toilet portfolio of the BMFG. These commercial partners are onboarded onto the program via calls that are placed periodically. These are the schools benefiting in terms of sanitation. We've just indicated on the table the schools that are involved, which provinces. We have Gauteng, Northwest, Eastern Cape, as well as KZN. and also indicates the number of users in terms of the learners that are there, and also where we are. Some are still at construction construction level, while others are already operational. We also have the next generation technologies in informal settlements, where the testing of the new generator in Timehouse informal settlement is continuing and the system is being monitored. Progress reports and effluent quality data have been submitted by the WEC projects quarterly. We have an example there of Slovoville, where and also this is in Mofolo North, where the demonstration of the clear toilet system was taking place. This is the Living Labs program, where we are supporting innovation in townships and rural areas through physical innovation spaces. It could be ICT equipment, maker spaces, rapid prototyping equipment, 3D printing, etc., or innovation support program, where we have ideathons, design thinking, coding, hackathons, prototype development, market testing and distribution, and tech enterprise development and support. Living Labs programs by provinces is indicated. We are indicating the municipality, whether it's a rural area or a township. At this moment, the program is in Eastern Cape, Free State, Western Cape, KZN, Northwest, Northern Cape, those are the provinces that are benefiting from the program thus far, with the hope that it will grow. And then the MLab, Mobile Applications Laboratory, we have them as well in Tshwane, Soweto, Tembisa, Kimberley, and Polokwane. These are looking at a number of IT solutions, ecosystem accelerator, skills accelerator, startup accelerator, and technology accelerator. And we do give, in terms of digital generation, what then gets to be done there in coding, Code Tribe Academy, and so on. In terms of advancing the African agenda for science, technology, and innovation, we continue to play a leading role in advancing the Pan-African agenda for science, technology, and innovation, including for programs of the African Union, South African Development Community, and the UN Economic Community for Africa. We invested in strengthening bilateral research and innovation partnerships with fellow African countries like Ethiopia on IKS. Also worked with DECO to leverage the participation of the African diaspora in African science, technology, and innovation initiatives. We also continue in terms of growing a rich and diverse portfolio of South, North, and South-South global partnerships, where we've deepened the strategic science, technology, and innovation partnerships with the European Union, which through the Horizon European Framework Program saw more than $1 billion directly invested by the European Commission in South African organizations. We led a comprehensive and ambitious BRICS Science, Technology, and Innovation Partnership Agenda for South Africa's chairing in 2023, and further strengthened the South African Strategic Science, Technology, and Innovation cooperation with China, including through multilateral mechanisms such as the Belt and Road Initiative. In terms of establishing South Africa as a global science diplomacy leader, here we increased global recognition of the Science Diplomacy Capital for Africa, platform supported by our department and hosted at the CSIR as a strategic partner for international science diplomacy initiatives in developing a new global curriculum for science diplomacy. We also successfully hosted a vibrant science forum South Africa, attracting an audience of more than 3,500 from 59 countries, and also supported the portfolio committee in the 6th administration with the international engagements, including a study tour to Switzerland. I will now, Chair, move to the performance overview per program. In terms of program 1, we had our IMC, which was the third one, between the DSTI and the STI intensive government departments and clusters in October, and we also had our inaugural Science, Technology and Innovation Plenary hosted by the President in December last year. We pride ourselves of achieving yet another clean audit as a department. In terms of program 2, this is just stats, Chair. I've also mentioned a lot through the highlights, but we're just giving stats here in terms of decision support tools that were developed, postgraduate students supported in energy space, IPIs and bioeconomy areas, where we've achieved supporting artisans, technicians and intern, and the offering of experiential learning opportunities for University of Technology and TVET graduates, supporting of youth in the technology, 100 learnerships. I've already mentioned the intellectual property rights filed. We had technology demonstrations, prototype products and services developments developed in designated energy space, intellectual property and bioeconomy areas. We had a stationary fuel cell system, clean energy technologies that were deployed in partnership with other stakeholders like the municipality. There were SMMEs that were assisted with business development and commercialization. We had commercial outputs in a number of areas, and also had emerging farmers benefiting from technology support programs. We also had 49 international resources leveraging engagements undertaken by the department, capacity building initiatives for international cooperation, targeting especially historically disadvantaged institutions. We had international policy dialogues and technical exchange to support the policy intents of our white paper, and also had new science, technology and innovation initiative targeting objectives of the Agenda 2063 that we supported. We had new initiatives supported targeting the SADC-R ISDP, and also bilateral STI plans of action implemented, engagements held with global science leaders, and also new international STI initiatives focused on the sustainable development goals that are supported by South Africa. This is on human capital. This is stats that I've already shared in the initial table under the outcome goals in terms of researchers, emerging researchers, how many of those were Black females, and communities that have benefited in terms of the IKHS and the Smart Village, which I shared earlier. We also had initiatives that were conducted to promote public awareness and science throughout the country. We have a special unit called Science Engagement, which does a lot of work in different initiatives at different engaging with different levels of our society, from school going to communities, in terms of spreading the word about science and science awareness. We have innovation support interventions, which were funded or co-funded to enable the development of subnational systems of innovation that can facilitate inclusive access. We also, out of the projects that we've done within the program, have had job opportunities created that are developed through demonstrations, models, where we experiment new ways for creating jobs. There were also income opportunities created through these, and also for technology demonstrations, transfer and diffusions of solutions developed to support small, medium enterprises, specifically at township and rural level. We had young engineers, chain makers programs. We also had grassroots innovators that were supported. We had basic services supported through innovation in support of the district development model and or sector departments. We had 5 district municipalities that were supported, and then in terms of solutions, in one of the 4 DSI DDM impact areas, as well as 3 municipalities supported with systematic solutions to advance innovation-driven LED. Targets not achieved, Chair. From program 1, it was we targeted that we would fill in 94% of all approved funded positions. We could only do 77%, and we could not meet the target by 17% by the end of the financial year. And some of the reason also is because we were able to advertise towards the end of that quarter, which then affected the recruitment process, bearing in mind that that quarter as well has December and half of January that may not be that active. But then we have since been able to fast track and since this is a new financial year, we have since been able to fill in those positions in this current financial year. And then we were targeting 30 youth to be supported under the Technology 100 Learnership Internship Program. We only managed 22 and could not reach 8. Here, Chair, though the number of people that were supported was more than 22 or even exceeded the 30 targets, they do not fall within what we would call youth category or classification within South Africa. We are underway in terms of appointing a service provider to carry an evaluation of design, implementation, and outcomes of the Da Vinci Institute's Technology Top 100 program for the past 5 years, where we would then consider whether we continue supporting the program and looking at the pros and cons in terms of what has transpired in the past 5 years. And then in terms of the disclosures, we could only achieve 220 of the 235 targeted. This is one of the indicators that are beyond the control as a result of low R&D funding. That is what is being suspected as a reason for few disclosures. The target was of the new disclosures received from publicly financed institutions by NIPNO has been relegated, and we do not have control over these outcomes, but with the current planning process, we've also thought about us being realistic around putting targets that we know that we may have influence over. This is disclosure of licensed for the first time, received from Public Finance R&D. We only achieved 10 out of 15. Same reason, where it's an indicator that is beyond our control. And then in terms of the new South African students participating in international training programs as part of cooperation initiatives facilitated by the department, we could not reach this target by 176. Reason being, fewer international partners were able to report before our reporting deadline. To address this, new indicator measuring human capital development has been introduced in the current APP. This indicator can be measured using evidence for which the DSI is responsible or can account for. In terms of internationally accredited research articles, we missed it by 216 from the targeted 8,500. The number of research articles published per researcher may vary slightly from year to year. It should be noted that the annual performance of research publication cannot be predicted more precisely owing to the inherent unpredictability of the publishing process. We will therefore conduct an analysis publication trends focusing on different variables such as disciplines, current research capacity, and publication processes. We hope this will assist in refining the indicator and targets in the subsequent financial years. The receivers, L-band receivers installed on the additional meerkat extension antennas. This is what the Deputy Minister alluded to. This could not be installed because it was dependent on completion of another process which needed to be handed over and then the antennas to be installed. The construction is underway and is expected to be continued to be completed during this financial year, which I believe has been concluded because we are reporting during Q3. This is also the same reason in terms of the meerkat extension antennas. We only could do 2. The completion was affected by weather and technical challenges, and it was hoped that it would be completed by the first quarter of the current financial year. I will now hand over chair to the CFO. I will control the presentation from this end. Robert, over to you.
Thanks, Acting DG. Firstly, let me greet the chairperson of the select committee and select members of the select committee, Deputy Minister, and DSI colleagues. I'll be sharing with you the financial performance of the department as indicated for the past financial year 23-24. The statement, the appropriate statement, it provides an indication of how the department spent its allocated budget. So in summary, what I will share is that for the last financial year, the department had 10,625,000,000. This includes awarded funds of 10,562,000,000, donor funds of 56 million, and departmental collected receipts of 6 million. And out of this, we spent 10,529,000,000 in total, which is made up of 10,472,000,000 for devoted funds and 57 million for the donor funds, and we had a variance of 90 million. Next slide, please, Acting DG. Next slide, please. Thanks. In terms of economic classification, members will see that we are saying our budget is adjusted. We initially had 10.8 billion, and it was reduced by 300 million. We closed with 10,562,000,000. In terms of economic classification, our compensation of employees was allocated 389.5 million. Goods and services was allocated to 283 million. Transfers and subsidies with the lion's share of 9,876,000,000. Payment for capital assets 13.9 million, and payment for financial assets it had only 100,000. Next slide, please, DG. In terms of performance, as I've indicated, our plan is to spend the entire funding that we've received of 10.562 billion, but we only spent 10,472,000,000, which is 99.1% of the total budget. As I've indicated, it translated to 0.9%, which is 90%, 90 million of the budget allocated. Next slide, please. We have also shared the spending per program. Administration, which is program 1, was allocated 418 million. They managed to spend 339 million. They have a variance of 19, which is 4.6%. Program 2, technology innovation, they were allocated 2,494,000,000. They managed to spend 2,441,000,000. They have a variance of 52 million, which is 2.1%. ICR, International Cooperation and Resources, they were allocated 146 million. They managed to spend 144 million, which is 1.5 million, variance of 1.1%. Research, development, and support, which is program 4, they were allocated 5,726,000,000. They only managed to spend 5,763,000,000, and they have a variance of 13 million, which is 0.2% of the budget. Socio-economic innovation partnership, which is program 5, was allocated 1,727,000,000. They only managed to spend 1,723,000,000. They had a variance of 4 million, which is 0.2% as well. Next slide, please. We also shared this in the tabular form for members for ease of reference, but it's largely the same as what I've just shared now. Next slide, please, DDG. Under compensation of employees, the budget was 389.5 million. Then we managed to spend 367 million. We have a variance of 22, which is 5.7% variance. Under goods and services is 283. We managed to spend 281. We have a variance of 2.2 million, which is 0.8. Under the transfers and subsidies, we've got 9,876. We managed to spend 9,810. We've got 65 million variance, which is 0.7%. For payment for capital assets, we had 13.9 million. We managed to spend 12.6 million. We have a variance of 1 million, which is 9.4%. Payment for financial assets, which is the damages to vehicles that we have that were written off. We had 100,000 that was allocated. We managed to spend 51. We have a variance of 49, which is 49.1%. Maybe this one, it relates to the damage and losses that we experience in the department. Vehicles that are damaged by officials while they are doing their official duties. It includes departmental fleet, hired car, and also laptops that are damaged or are lost. So this relates to that, and it is funded through the savings during the course of the financial year. So the amount of money is not necessary that it will be spent all of it, because it depends on if we had a lot of damages. Next slide, please, DDG. We have also shared it in terms of tabular for ease of reference for members, but I'm not going to go through that in the interest of time. Next slide, please. We have also shared high spending items. Our parliamentary grants that we give to our entities, For ASAF, which is Academy of Science of South Africa, we allocated 33.9 million. The Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, which is the CSIR, we allocated 971 million. Women Sciences Research Council, we allocated 392 million. National Research Foundation, we allocated 951 million. South African National Space Agency, we allocated 162 million. Technology Innovation Agency, we allocated 459 million. And we have also shared the highest spending line items. We have what is called funding from what we call a budget facility for infrastructure for our space science research under the Space Infrastructure Hub program, which was allocated, 740 million, which they spent all of it. And then research and development infrastructure, they spent 742.7 million. And human resource development, they spent 1 billion, 18 million square kilometer array. They spent 1 billion, 709 million. And South African Research Shares Initiatives, they spent 605 million. And next slide, please, TNTG. With regard to the impact of the funding that we were not able to spend, from funding perspective under COE, we don't see, the impact as a result of that. But from officials themselves, in terms of them having to take added responsibilities, that is going to be a challenge, which is one area that we use employment agency to assist. But that is going to have an impact on our officials because they have to take added responsibilities. And with regard to capital assets, what we do to delay, to mitigate overspending the items, to delay refresh of the vehicles. So if we have vehicles that have exceeded their useful life, but they are still they can still be used, we use them until we have enough funding for us to be able to refresh. So this is what we have employed. We will be using the vehicles that we have just to ensure that we don't overspend the item. Next slide, please, DG. We have also shared the outcome of our audit for the past 3 years. We obtained clean audit outcome for the past 3 years. In fact, it is about the past 5 years. We only shared with you 3 years. For the past 5 years, we obtained unqualified audit outcomes without any finding in our audit report. Next slide, please. We have also shared the movement of irregular expenditure. We did not incur irregular expenditure in the last financial year. When we opened our books, we had 1.9 million of irregular expenditure, and we managed to write off 1,045,000. This one was written after we have followed all the process of investigation, determining the responsibility and sharing the information with the National Treasury. And then the National Treasury, through their irregular expenditure framework, they said the department can remove the amount from the financial statement. So we removed this after we have followed all the process in terms of that are prescribed by the National Treasury. And after they said the department can remove, we requested the accounting officer to give us approval to remove them from the financial statement. We did not incur, as I said, irregular expenditure in the last financial year. And we also did not incur any fruitless and wasteful expenditure. Fruitless and wasteful, in fact, for the past 4 or 5 years, we did not incur it. The irregular expenditures that we have are as a result of the ones that emanated from prior years. So we are trying by all means to ensure that all the internal controls that I have are implemented to avoid having irregular expenditures in the department. Next slide, please, TTG. We have shared the movement graphically for members, but it's essentially what I've just indicated in the last slide. Next slide, please, TG. We have also shared how we have performed in terms of paying our suppliers. We try by all means as a department to pay our suppliers within 30 days. Members will see 23, the whole year we managed to pay 100%. Even I think the past 3 years, I think 21, 22, 2021 as well, we were able to pay, 100%. It is only last year where we had challenges, where we were not able to pay 100% of our suppliers. There are a number of reasons. One, service provider not alerting us on time that my banking details have changed. And when we captured the invoices on the system at authorization stage, the banking details have changed, and then we had to go and get new banking details, which delays. So there's quite a number of issues. And others will find that they don't update their text matters. We only realize late when this relates to those that we've got contracts with, a year contracts, 3-year contracts. But those that are on a quotation basis, maybe for a short term, we normally don't get any challenges as far as these ones are concerned. Next slide, please. We have also shared how we are performing in terms of paying our previously disadvantaged categories, women, youth, and people with disabilities. Our total spend under goods and services for the year that passed was 281 million, and then 93 of that was spent through these categories. And for small, medium, and macro enterprises, we spent 58 million of the money that the money that was paid to these categories, which is 62.4%. Public companies, we spend 66 million, which is 71%. Companies owned by women, we spend 34 million, which is 37.3%. Companies owned by the youth, we spend 16 million, which is 17.2%. And companies owned by people with disabilities, we spend 1.5 million, which is 1.7%. We are having challenges in these two categories. Youth and people with disabilities. The service providers we do, particularly the people with disability, are very thin on the ground. We don't have many of them, but we are, will be engaging the Department of Women. We just want to find out if they are very successful in this, because it is our belief that they should be the one who are ensuring that this area of work is being achieved. So we are hoping that they will have a database of this category so that we can use the database as well. We are not for the current the previous financial year we didn't, but I must say for the current year there is a significant improvement. When we share the quarter reports, members will see that there has been a significant improvements in these categories. Next slide, please. Thanks, the DG, and thanks, members. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chair. This is the annual report we've done. We will be guided in terms of the APP, whether we do it now or we take questions and then we do it later. Thank you very much, DM.
Yes. Thank you very much. I was going to suggest that let us do that as well, so that we can engage the whole report.
Okay, that's fine, Chairperson. I will load the next one.
These honorable members are noting their questions and their comments on the reports. Thank you.
I'm just waiting for it to get to presentation mode. Okay, Chair. Let me just test if this thing is moving. Thank you, Chairperson. I'm not sure. This is not working as the other one. Can I unshare and start again, Chair? Sorry for the delay. Okay. Thank you, Chairperson, and sorry about that. So now we're presenting the 2024-25 annual performance plan for the department. The outline is similar in some areas in terms of the mandate of the department, our vision, mission, values, the nature of the work, programs, the policy context in terms of the NDP, MTSF, white paper and the decadal plan, and looking at performance information. We have also selected some flagship initiatives, and I'll again hand over to the CFO to do the MTEF allocations and budget per program. So the mandate of the department is in terms of knowledge generation, where we look at publication, students, knowledge to inform decision making. We also look at knowledge utilization for economic development, knowledge utilization for social and inclusive development, where we must produce prototypes, patents, and demonstrations. And this also fits into the R&D-led industrialization, where we achieve knowledge transfer to society, as well as high-tech SMMEs. This is done through infrastructure, human capital development, while recognizing the internationalization and regional integration elements. With regard to our mission, vision, values, and brand, is to provide leadership and enabling environment and resources for science, technology, innovation, and support of South Africa's inclusive and sustainable development, with a vision to increase well-being and prosperity through science, technology, and innovation. Our values currently are innovation, knowledge sharing, professionalism, and ethical behavior, with a branding tag that says making sure it's possible. So we have 5 programs within the DSTI, based on the white paper on science, technology, and innovation, the National Research and Development Strategy, as well as the 10-year innovation plan. We have administration, we have technology innovation, program 2, we have program 3, which is international cooperation and resources. We have program 4, which is research, development, and support, as well as program 5, which is socio-economic innovation partnerships. The nature of our work, we are on policy development as a department, and as well as with coordination of science, technology, and innovation matters across government. We also manage international science, technology, and innovation work of the government in collaboration with the Department of International Relations and Cooperation. We as a department, we have programs that are implemented through our 8 public entities, which will be illustrated further in the presentation. The programs are implemented through the following entities. We have research councils, the SCSIR, we have the HSRC, we have the SANSA, which is the space agency. We also have 2 funding agencies, which are the National Research Foundation as the Technology Innovation Agency. We have advisory bodies, which is the NACI, the National Advisory Council on Innovation, which is a ministerial advisory council. And then we have the Academy of Science of South Africa, which also plays an advisory role. Then we have the South African National Scientific Professions, which is South African Council Natural Scientific for Natural Scientific Professions, which is SACNAPS. In terms of the policy context, we are looking at the landscape for the 2020 to 2025 DSTI strategic plan horizon, guided by the National Development Plan pillars and the MTSF 2019 to 2024. We're also looking at the white paper, the 2019 on STI goals, as well as the 2020 to 2025 strategic plan, as well as our decadal plan. So we want to drive a strong and inclusive economy, build and strengthen the capabilities of South Africa, and achieve a capable state. Looking at we're still within the 7 apex priorities, where we commit as a department to Apex Priority 2, economic transformation and job creation, as well as Apex Priority 3, which is education, skills, and health. Here we look at coherent and inclusive governance, expand and transform human capital, expand and transform human capital development, increase STI investment, expand and transform research enterprise, and enable innovation. We are then guided by the outcomes, which I then shared in the previous presentation. The white paper is policy intents, the SA Foresight Study on Science, Technology, and Innovation, 10-year innovation plan, research and development strategy, as well as the HESTIL review. These are all policy and the policy landscape to which we subscribe to as a department. The NDP is a long-term vision for the country, which provides a broad strategic framework to guide key government choices and actions, and focuses on the critical capabilities needed to transform the economy and society. It highlights the centrality of science, technology, and innovation in creating sustainable economic development and addressing societal challenges such as education, health, food security, water shortages, and climate change in accelerating economic transformation. As such, the NDP proposed a phased approach in entrenching the contribution of science, technology, and innovation to economic growth. These are focus on intensifying research and development spending, emphasizing opportunities linked to existing industries. Phase 2, lay the foundations of more intensive improvements of productivity, where innovation across state, business, and social sectors become pervasive. And then For phase 3, would be emphasizing on consolidating the gains on phase 2 with greater emphasis on innovation, improved productivity, more intensive pursuit of knowledge economy, and better exploitation of comparative and competitive advantages in an integrated continent. In terms of the priorities, we subscribe to priority 2, economic transformation and job creation, where we look at to improve competitiveness through ICT adoption, through the GERD and the IP commercialization, investing for accelerated inclusive growth, skills priority plan led by DHEADS and supported by us, industrialization, localization, and exports, where we have master plans developed for all national priority sectors. Under education, skills, and health is the expansion and access of post-school education and training opportunities, improving success and efficiency of the PSET system, and improving the quality and provisioning within the PSET, and ensuring that the system is responsive to the needs of industry and society at large. Other aspects of the MTSF, which are of relevance to our entities and ourselves, that would be women, youth, and people with disabilities as designated group, where we look at the gender responsive planning, budgeting, monitoring, and evaluation and auditing framework, and also data that is disaggregated at planning and M&E level. In terms of a capable and ethical and developmental state, innovation and support of a capable and developmental state, the DDM model to improve the coherence and impact of government services and delivery and access to basic services, provide timely, accurate, and independent data information for mega projects, monitoring and evaluation. Under economic transformation and job creation, we want to achieve 100% universal broadband by aligning and contribution to the DOC satellite communication strategy. With regard to education, skills, and health, it would be TB treatment research success rate, better diagnostics, better therapies, local manufacturing of TB drug and vaccines, development of treatment and prevention technologies for HIV, NCD, and maternal health care. Consolidating the social wage through reliable and quality basic services, looking at innovative technology approaches for delivery of basic services such as energy, water, sanitation, and roads. With regard to priority 6, spatial integration, human settlements, and local government, we're looking at provision of applications and products for precision agriculture, human settlement, and water bodies for information layers, demonstrations in partnerships with the Department of Minerals and Energy to access appropriateness of new technologies such as hydrogen fuel cell to improve service delivery, provision of information for air quality information system, land cover and land use mapping, frequent information on weather patterns and human activity on critical resources such as water, land, and air, provision of decision support tools, human settlement layer, water bodies information layer. The white paper gives expression to the mandate of the DSTI, and it has identified 7 objectives and 29 policy intents across the 4 and 7 chapters, namely a coherent and inclusive national system of innovation, an enabling innovation environment in South Africa, increased human capabilities and expanded knowledge enterprise, and financing of the STI. The decadal plan itself has identified 5 system goals and the associate outcomes, 6 STI priorities, and 6 societal grand challenges, 3 societal grand challenges. In terms of our performance information, our impact statement is South Africa's sustainable and inclusive development enabled and enhanced through science, technology, and innovation, looking at the 6 outcome areas which we will achieve through partnerships, internationalization, and transformation. Our strategic plan has 6 outcomes, 19 outcome indicators against our medium-term performance and results which will be measured and evaluated. In the 2024-25 annual performance plan, this marks the last year of the 6th administration, as this is an election year as well. The 2024-25 was revised in accordance to the first year of implementation of the 7th administration. In implementing the revised 2020-25 strategic plan, the APP has 69 output performance indicators and medium-term targets that the department seeks to achieve. The planned policy initiatives and targeted interventions under outcome 1, we're looking at finalizing the transformation framework to transform, to expand the transformation agenda in all strategic STI focus areas through 10 key transformation dimensions. We are looking at supporting grassroots innovators and support new entrants into the economy via targeted RDI instruments. We want to modernize sectors of the economy such as manufacturing, agriculture, and mining to ensure that these sectors are competitive and can contribute to higher GDP growth. We also want to implement the white paper and STI policy thrust through the 2021-2031 decadal plan priorities and societal grand challenges. High-level structures for the STI agenda setting across government, which are the annual IMC as well as the presidential plenary. In terms of the outcome 2, the policy initiatives is to implement a new postgraduate funding policy that provides for full cost of support for certain groups of students, namely the financial needs, students with disabilities, the financially needy, and students with disabilities and exceptional academic achievers. We would want to support more than 1.8 PhD students in the current year, adding to the 9,602 supported as of December 2023, with a target of 12,000 PhD students by the end of the MTSF period. We're also looking at 450 Black women emerging researchers awarded research grants through NRF managed programs as reflected in their projects reports by the end of the financial year. We also want to support the development of critical skills of University of Technology and TVET graduates, artisans, technicians, postdoctoral researchers, offered experimental training through employment in the energy space and bioeconomy sectors of the economy. We would want to award 2,500 research grants to established and emerging researchers, particularly Black female researchers, to help increase the percentage of lecturers and seniors who are PhD qualified and publishing. Also, we will support the development of critical high-end skills in selected technology areas, such as foundational digital capabilities, bioeconomy, space science and technology, energy, intellectual property management, nanotech, robotics, photonics, and areas of technology convergence that are important in building a knowledge society. Also looking at mainstream themes in research grants covering all knowledge. As far as outcome 3 is concerned, the planned policy initiatives are increase South Africa's research output, productivity, and it would share publications towards the 1% of global output through fast-tracking interventions aimed at PhD qualifications among non-PhD qualified staff, and interventions to improve the publishing rate of academics at historically disadvantaged institutes, to increase research outputs per capita, and also 5,000 internationally accredited research articles for researchers awarded research grants by the end of the financial year. We also want to expand the rollout of the South African National Research Network to TVETs and increase the total available broadband capacity to 6,500 Gbps. We want to also measure and track the number of outputs commercialized as a result of support provided in designated areas, licenses, assignments, options of varying nature, startups, spin-outs, and new companies, and also established indigenous knowledge-based bio-innovation institution for interface and mainstream African wisdom for applied integral research, which inclusive innovation, local technology transfer, holistic enterprise development, and conscious commercialization. Outcome 4, through the Innovation Fund, we want to support new and improved innovations aimed at providing societal and economic solutions, also participate in the development and implementation of a number of sector plans, such as oceans economy, renewable energy, forestry, health and agriculture, which will be implemented over the strategic planning period in partnerships with other government departments at national, provincial, and local level. We want to implement common flagship programs in support of priority sectors, reflected in National Reimagined Revitalized Industrial Strategy, and also continue managing a portfolio of projects with the potential of creating new industries. We want to continue in terms of industrial ports to be used as the nerve centers for scaling up the use of clean hydrogen through implementation of catalytic projects as a critical step in the process of building a hydrogen economy in South Africa. Also partnering with DRME in deploying fuel cells at government buildings and critical infrastructure, such as airports, rural, formal, and urban informal settlements, to reduce the impact of load shedding on service delivery, as well as speeding up the rate of electrification. Also lead the RDI aspect of National Master Plan programs on medicinal cannabis and hemp in developing medicines, nutraceuticals, and cosmeceuticals from the plant in collaboration with other government departments, not forgetting civil society, academia, and also making sure that we work with business grounded on principles of socio-economic transformation, especially inclusion of women and youth. In terms of outcome 5, we looking at grassroots innovation program, MLabs, and introducing a few high impact interventions, addressing income opportunities, entrepreneurship, job opportunities, and so on. And also to be deliberate in terms of focusing on intellectual property related solutions that will enable and improve access to basic services, which will also strengthen capacity of the state in service delivery and promote the inclusion of youth, women, and people living with disabilities. Also looking at facilitating commercialization of grassroots innovation and its access to publicly available IP in line with the commitment for the deployment of locally developed technology solutions. In terms of outcome 6, we are looking at inclusion of innovation in provincial growth and development of local economic development strategies. We will also be deliberating promoting the expansion of piloted solutions that enable and improve access to basic services such as waste and water management, housing, sanitation, and energy provision, which would strengthen the state's capacity in terms of service delivery. Also looking at locally developed technology deployment in support of the use of innovation in implementing state policies in basic education, e-health, infrastructure project scoping. The selected flagship initiatives of the department in terms of international relations partnerships, in Africa, there'll be 13 high priority bilateral partners, and then 23 others in terms of close cooperation on STI with AU and SADC. Other bilaterals are 25 Europe, 3 Middle East, 6 Americas, and 9 Asia partnerships. In terms of the EU, South Africa, strong STI partnerships with 975 million from the EU's Horizon Europe, in multilateral organizations like SKO, UNESCO, ICGP, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, BRICS. We have several high-level events and tentative thematic working groups. Also the G20 theme for the research and innovation working, and equity and science and innovation-based approach to sustainable development. With science diplomacy, there will be a number of engagements with global leaders to advance national priorities in multilateral forums, share in international experience and expertise, looking at collaborative R&D, researcher training and mobility, etc. Leverage foreign investment in South Africa and joint investment with international partners, influence international science priorities in support of national priorities and foreign policy, facilitate access to international markets as part of economic diplomacy, looking at strengthening science diplomacy capital for Africa platform and igniting conversations about science with international partners through the hosting of the Science Forum South Africa. In terms of knowledge generation, we have the Global Change Research Plan for South Africa, where key principles underlying the GCRP include adopt a systems approach, multi, and transdisciplinary approach to research, and recognizing essays as advantageous geographical locations surrounded by oceans that influence the climate system of the Southern African region, and look at 4 knowledge areas and 18 research themes and GC research programs for the global change research programs and initiatives. There's access, a CSIR hosted virtual network of collaborating partners and programs focusing at systems, and then flagship programs include Habitable Planet workshops, conversations on climate change. They're looking at the investment here. It's over 200 million in 13 years with an average of 16 million annually. Our other flagship program is the SION, a comprehensive, sustained, coordinated, and responsive South African Environment Observation Network that delivers long-term reliable data for scientific research and informs decision-making for a knowledge society and improve quality of life. Here, the investment is 320 million over 13 years with 25 million per annum average. This is a one-stop shop server, a special database system aimed at equipping decision-making with information on the impacts and risks associated with global change at local level. The RVSC is Risk and Vulnerability Science Center aimed at building capabilities of rural-based universities in the area of environmental risk and vulnerability assessment. Currently, participants being Walter Sisulu Forte, Limpopo, Free State Qwaqwa, as well as Sol Plaatje, as well as Venda, which is targeted for the future. With an investment of 4 million per annum for both programs. In terms of the Global Change Performance and Investment Council, we're looking at International Resource Mobilizing Team as well as Science Committee, which is the SION, which I've spoken about, Space Agency Global Change Monitoring Network, SA Polar Research Entity. We are also looking at all these service role players in terms of being able to access the South African Risk and Vulnerability R&V Atlas and Bureau for Global Change Science. There would be science committees, knowledge brokering support units, but these are like large-scale research programs such as global change, society, and sustainability. We continue to look at modernizing and existing industry, where we're looking at ICT-based applications in sectors in terms of modernizing these sectors, agriculture, manufacturing, and mining. In terms of looking at new sources of growth with regard to the circular economy, there's an estimate 50% of the GHG economy, 90% of water stress and 90% of global diversity loss is attributed to resource extraction and processing. The circular economy approaches also create jobs and economic efficiencies. So there would be work, we continue to work with several sectors as indicated: mining, energy, agriculture, manufacturing, human settlements, mobility, water, and these are the impacts that we hope to achieve, and the interventions thereof is portrayed, including regenerative renewable energy, reducing wastage, minimizing resource inputs, change in resource use and wastage, urban agriculture, change in mobility systems, amongst others. In terms of the other catalytic projects, to kickstart the development of a hydrogen society in South Africa, there is a number of them that have been identified, including the Hydrogen Valley, Platinum Valley Initiative, the Coal CO2 Project, Sustainable Aviation Project, Fuels the Boegoebaai Special Economic Zones in collaboration with Sasol. In terms of the Platinum Valley, it's structured around the 3 hydrogen hubs, which is the Joburg hub, the Mogalakwena in Limpopo, as well as Durban Richards Bay hub. The hydrogen demand in the valley could reach up to 185 KT by H2 by 2030, or 40 to 80% of demand in the national hydrogen roadmap. We envisage that by 2030, green H2 across hubs is expected to be $4 per kg, still more expensive than gray hydrogen, with the green premium of $2 to $2.5 per kg. This is the coal CO2 program, with portraying the challenges and the proposed solutions, which would then result in greener electricity in terms of residential, industrial, and mining, and flue gas compliance and beyond clean air health, as well as green on-site commodities and jobs achieved in the, there would be like byproducts such as hydrogen, ammonia, fertilizer, and sulfuric acid. In terms of pilot technology demonstration and training, we are looking at the hard-to-abate cement and industry pilot plant demonstration, as well as the coal CO2 program awareness training, which was completed in 2021, with the hope that we would upscale and demonstrate in the future at coal-fired power generation plant, and also future training of engineers and technicians in hydrogen and CCU technologies. Sustainable aviation fuels, key actions and milestones. This is just showing in terms of where we are in terms of small-scale electronics production, and then the going into production at from 2020 to 2035, as well as 2030, where we would then increase the capacity, where the scale would be increased up to get to a point where it's 15 gigawatts by 2040. The use is indicated here in terms of production per scale, how much would be able to be used, and then it increases gradually up to a point where the scale has been, the capacity has been increased. We're looking to establish targets and policy signals, support demand creation, mitigate investment risk, harmonize standards and remove barriers, promote research, development and innovation, strategic demonstration and deployment, and skills development and public awareness. This was our response to COVID-19. I think the DM touched on this one in terms of our aim of vaccine development and manufacturing to provide adequate level of sovereignty. So we have the National Bioeconomic Strategy, and we have several elements that are spanning out from that, with the aim that we get to a point where we manufacture our own vaccines amongst other things, but we are looking at diagnostics as well, medical devices, but not forgetting that we continue to address the issue of human capital development. But hopefully at some point we would have a world-class infrastructure to fast-track research and development. This is just a demonstration in terms of the elements of building innovation capacity and a pipeline of homegrown products. Proposed technology platforms, short-term, improving trade balance and current account balance and create employment. Medium and long-term, build strategic national incompetency in life science and technology, providing strategic security of supply of vaccines nationally and regionally. The local production of vaccines to not only support the local demand, but that of Africa. And this could have significant revenue potential for us as a country. And then vaccine import dependence in sub-Saharan Africa is rising, creating significant opportunities for African manufactured vaccines. These are the technology platforms, mRNA and the mRNA partners. This is continuous work that the department is working on as part of our flagship. We also have the African medicine, which also emanated from COVID-19 research, some of it, but some of it had existed prior. We have established the indigenous knowledge base research team, a sub-team of African medicines platform, which is constituted of African medicine practitioner organizations, our science councils, universities, and government departments. There's been a 15 million realigned from existing projects and other health conditions, other African medicines, health infusions, technology transfer, and commercialization platforms. There's been 2 herbal and 2 monoherbal formulations that have progressed to clinical trial phase, which has been received SAHPRA approval. And also we have 40 indigenous knowledge holders that were trained in a 6-month coach lab program on bio-entrepreneurs and enterprise development. This is ongoing work of the department. And also moving forward, we are current chairs of the WHO's Afro-Regional Expert Committee of African Medicine and COVID-19, and there's been 18 million leverage for phase 2 clinical trials of technology.
Sorry, DG.
Yes, Chair.
Sorry for interjection. I just want to check the possibility of summing up because I'm thinking about a question of time and then all.
Okay, Chair, I'm almost done. Let me just not go into details and then I hand over to CFO rather, but I'm almost there.
Well,
Thanks.
thank you very much.
Okay. Just to sum up in terms of innovation or in support of a capable and developmental state, we would want to look at innovative technology solutions for basic service delivery, looking at decision support tools, integration of innovation in the public sector, innovation capacity, capability, and measurement, integration of innovation in the public sector, and electronic participation and policy modeling. Active contributions and outputs to date. I won't go through these to save time, but these are active elements that we have out there, like your data analytics and reports. We have collaborative work with NEC joins and so on. And then this is just the district development model where we have 125 high impact and responsive projects. There's impact area 1 to impact area 4, which are looking at different elements in terms of life-changing opportunities, economic competitive and recovery, competitiveness, access to basic services and infrastructure, societal problems, challenges, and decision support. And this is just the geographical spread of where we are with regard to the DSI DDM projects across all district municipalities. Breaking it down to in terms of the numbers per program, per province, it's here. And then the active projects that we would be focusing on per province, I won't go through those as well. And in terms of, this is also still speaking to the geographic footprint in terms of viability and validation of innovations for service delivery, where we have different projects with their objectives that we are part of. Can I then hand over to the CFO? We don't have a lot of slides here, Chair. I'll just hand over to CFO. I'll control like I did initially.
No, thanks, Acting DG. I will try to be quick on the slides. Next slide, please. No, thanks. For the MTF starting in 24-25 up to 26-27. For 24-25, the current year, the department was allocated 9,468,000,000. And then for 25-26, it was allocated 9,086,000,000. And 26-27, it was allocated 9,510,000,000. In terms of the various programs, program 1, it is allocated 359 million. For 24-25, 25-26, 375 million. 26-27, 392. Program 2, 1,923,000,000. 25-26, 1,000,000. 627 million. 26-27, 1,700,000,000. Program 3, 146 million. 152 million. 159 in the MTF period. Research, development, and support was allocated 5.4 million. 5.2 million and 5.4 million in the 3 years. Socio-economic partnerships, 1.6 million. 24-25, 1,699,000,000. 25-26 and 26-27, 1,766,000,000. Next slide, please. Next. In terms of percentage, program 4 has got the lion's share with 57% allocated to it, and program 2, 20.3, program 5, 17.2, and program 1, 3.8, and program 3, 1.5. Next slide, please. In terms of economic classification, our compensation of employees has 386 million to current year, 403 million 25-26, 422 million in 26-27. And our goods and services has got 217 million, 227, 237 million over the MTF period. Transfers and subsidies, we've got 8.8 million the current year, 844, next financial year, and the outer year, 8.8 million. Payment for capital assets, we've got 10.5 million, 10.7 million, and 11.1 million over the 3-year period. Next slide, please. In terms of the percentage, as we have indicated earlier, our transfers have the lion's share of our budget at 93.5%, and then goods and services 2.3, compensation of employees 4.1, and 0.1% payment for capital assets. Next slide, please. The current budget split between transfers and operational budget, as I've indicated, our transfers have got the lion's share. As you can see, our operation budget, which is compensation, goods and services, and payment for capital assets, account for 6.5% of the budget. Next slide, please. We have also shared the allocation to our entities. Next slide, please, DG. The SANSA, It was allocated 153 million current year, 166, 25, 26, 180 million in 26, 27. TIA, 432 million current year, 470, 25, 26, 508 million, 26, 27. Academy of Science of South Africa, 31 million current year, 33 million, 25, 26, and 34 million, 26, 27. NRF, 941 million current year, 983 million, 25, 26, and 1 billion, 28 million in 26, 27. CSIR, 938 million current year, 971, 25, 26, 1 billion, 16 million, 26, 27. Human Sciences Research Council, 300 million current year, 311 in 25, 26, and 325 million in 26, 27. Next slide, please. In terms of the percentages, they are stipulated there in the pie chart. I'm not going to go through them individually in the interest of time. Next slide, please. We have also shared the major projects that we have. Square kilometer array. We have allocated 1,305 million for the current year for the construction of 4 Meerkat extension antennae and the manufacturing of 20 L-band receivers. South African Research Infrastructure Roadmap, SARIR, we have allocated 456 million for the 2 research infrastructure to be initiated, which is the solar research facility and materials characterization facility. Next slide, please. And the National Integrated Cyber Infrastructure System, which is NICIS, we have allocated 282 million to increase the total available broadband capacity provided by Sunrun, and also increase the data storage capacity through the RISA project. And also list 4 petascale HPC system in order to increase the capacity, the computer capacity, and also for graduate master student in e-science through National e-science postgraduate teaching and training program. Next slide, please. That will be the end of the presentation. Thanks, DG, and thanks, Chair of the Portfolio Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Those are the 2 presentations.
Thank you very much, DG, and also the CFO with the extensive presentations. Indeed, they are detailed and trying also to capacitate us in terms of your financial report and also the plans that you are having. I won't dwell much on the reports. I will allow members to have some bites, both questions and then also comments. There will be no order in terms of how to engage.
Chairperson.
I see that there are 2 hands, both
Chairperson, Honorable Aris.
Sorry, Honorable Aris, can I note your hand?
Chairperson. Yes, I just actually want to make a proposal because right now, as we look at the time, and some of us must still take the buses, we won't do justice to this presentation. I actually want to make a proposal that we do our questions in writing so that the department respond to us in writing, because many of us will be traveling now to Parliament. That's my proposal, Chairperson. And if anybody else hold a different view, I will respect that. Thank you.
Honorable Aris, that is what usually happens in the committee. If you still can recall, they do reply in the form of verbally, and then after verbal reply, we also request a written reply. So your input is noted. It won't even be discussed, but you will also, whatever that you want to raise, you can raise it as such. I see 2 hands there, Honorable Pat and Honorable Mukwele. The floor is yours, Honorable Pat. Noted, Honorable Mukwele, after Honorable Pat. Yes.
Thank you, Chairperson. I'll try, but no matter this presentation was very long, but I will try to hint there and there. Chairperson, number one, generally, the global environment posed a challenge for us. Therefore, the material condition on the ground demand us as a country to acquire more skills, science, and technology. That's why I supported this presentation from the ongo. But nevertheless, I wanted you to find out that does our priorities and commitments speak to BRICS requirements? Why I'm raising it? Earlier on, I saw the logo of, the European Union and also the BRICS one. While in the other hand, why I'm raising that one? You see, Chairperson, not long ago, we had a challenge of HIV and AIDS. And the issue of WHO, World Health Organization, among them, they initiated the issue of that tablet, which was called AZT. And they didn't want to give a space for South African, for our own initiatives in terms of indigenous knowledge and innovation, in terms of vaccine. We had a serious problem in terms of the side of the World Health Organization. Therefore, that's why I'm raising it inclined with the BRICS that what is the status quo at the moment? And then also to the finance, the first statement of the finance. Although the department indicated that there were no challenges and they were allowed to wrap off in terms of the irregular and fruitless and wasteful expenditure. But I wanted to find out, since a small thing, like in terms of high spending lines, that there are people who who use everything. To me, it's questionable because most of the time, if they're using finance, they even go to an extent to borrow. If that budget was budgeted for them, they've overspent it. They even went outside to go and borrow some of the increment. That with this one, what is the status quo? What happened exactly with this one? And then another question.
You disappeared, Honorable Sibande. Honorable Sibande. Honorable Pat. We've lost Honorable Sibande. Honorable members. Honorable Mkwele, can you chip in whilst we are still, because we do not want to wait for Honorable Sibande. I've noted you, Honorable Briet, and then also Du Plessis.
No, thanks very much, Chairperson. Let me also join Honorable Sibanda and also Honorable Aries, with the proposal he made to say, because the presentation is extremely long, we've got a lot of things that we want to raise, which we can't raise them all. Also, I'll also make my other submission. I will also write others so that I can get the prompt response. But also to support Honorable Sibande that we welcome the presentation, which was very informative. And also, they also indicated to us that as the Department of Science, Innovation and Technology, they now always want to plan ahead, because it is true, Chair, that during COVID-19 as a country, we were always found wanting, going everywhere. We also know that because of, remember, when you are stranded, you don't have a plan. You'll always plan. You'll always, even in terms of funds, paying a lot of funds, which that is the situation that we find ourselves. But we also want to to thank our president, because we know that the situation was very devastating. We have lost many lives. Some of us we have even affected, lost our beloved sisters and those that we love. I know all of you. But also with the plan that they are coming with, which I was saying that it was very long, Chair, which I know we went through their presentation ourselves, but when they explained, that is where we started to get the information. That's why I'm saying that we are having some questions. But in the main, I'm suggesting, Chair, through you, that because remember, this department, we are still going to be with them. Also to acknowledge the apology that they've indicated when they start to say they will always respect the NCOP, because we are the most critical House of Parliament that represent the interests of provinces in the main. But nonetheless, Chair, like I've said, I've got a lot of issues that I want to raise, but I'll put them down. Through you, Chair, with due respect, I'll then pause here so that I can write, even though I've written them, I don't want to go to them, I can send it to the office so that they can respond. But in future, if they can try to trim their presentation so that we are effective in engaging, because we are not rushing. If they can trim and have enough time to discuss and talk to each other, then in future they bring something, then as the committee we are going to be more effective. So that's the point that I want to bring, and thank very much for affording me the opportunity. Yeah,
Your 16 kicked me out, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Mkwele. No, if you are back, Honorable Sibanda, you can chip in.
Okay. Yeah, another last one. I mean, I don't have so much. The issue I wanted to, where I've got an interest about the issue of, which I was talking about, issue of the youth. We can't say that we targeted only 80 youth and only 22 were supported. While we are having there is a quite number of youth which is unemployed, and some of the youth are professionals. I don't know what criteria was used in to reach the target of 80. What I propose is that at least if they targeted a number which is a little bit higher than the 30, and then also there was in the presentation, they have indicated that some of these programs they are there in some certain provinces. I don't know when are they going to reach other provinces as well, because it poses a question. For an example, some of the provinces like Mpumalanga province and the Limpopo province, those provinces were disadvantaged in the past. We can't continue to be disadvantaged even in the new dispensation. What criteria is being used in order to take some provinces on board while other provinces are not taken on board? What I propose is that the work of the department must be geographically spread, but not to concentrate in some few provinces. Other provinces are not taken on board, because that system is killing. And then another one is that the last one. I'm happy to hear that the issue of the indigenous knowledge combined with the innovation in terms of vaccines. Because the previous, as I indicated earlier on about the issue of the World Health Organization, they always want to get as part of it. To us, they take us as research. That is how in Africa they come and research. At the end, they come and produce as if it's them who discovered some of the things, while the things have started here. Thank you, Chairperson.
Very much, Honorable Sibande. In that order, Honorable Briet, honorable members, I will encourage members to forward some of the questions and comments in the form of writing to Mr. Kula Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson. Yes, Honourable Chair, I would like to concur with Honourable Aris, and I think you just reiterated it, that we still be allowed to submit questions in writing, because I think it'd be quite unfair for members who are travelling with the parliamentary buses that, you know, they cannot make their inputs completely and fully during this meeting. So I think I propose that we give a deadline to say tomorrow morning at 10, we must submit those questions. That is the first submission I would like to make. Then, Chairperson, in terms of let me maybe start with, I know in the annual report, the department makes note that there are no major changes to legislation affecting the department and its entities. But I would like to know, are there any forthcoming bills or white papers that we can be prepared on, that they are planning in terms of legislation and upgrading of legislation? Then, Chairperson, getting to technology and innovation funds, they speak of expanded support through tech acquisition and deployment funds, and also finalizing the Municipal Innovation Fund to ensure that, you know, on municipal level there is infrastructure and so forth. I would just like a status update of that, the finalization of that Municipal Innovation Fund, and if there may be examples of projects that have been funded through these two funds. Then, Chairperson, getting to the DDM model, a lot of focus has been put on the district development model, and I would like to know, how does the DSI, you know, operate in terms of the DDM model? Are they experiencing challenges? Because on the other committee I serve, we see that the DDM model is to a large extent a very big failure and is creating problems. And then please explain how the DDM will be incorporated in the DSI's plans and targets for the following year. And then, Chairperson, maybe let me then get to sector master plans that the department also refers to. And I know that 39.7 million rand has already been spent on this. What are the status of these master plans, and can they list them to us? And what are the timeframes linked to these master plans? Because I know it was an initial budget of 100 million that was allocated to this. Chairperson, and I think let me leave it at that to allow the other members to have an opportunity to ask questions. Thanks.
Thank you, Honorable Project. In that order.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. I will keep my questions on outcome 6, as it is a very important thing for good governance to have technology that supports it, as well as that overlooks the accountability of processes and minimizes interruption within that process. My question is, with regards to e-government specifically, what has the department done to ensure that there is support within e-government if we are looking, for example, at liquor boards, gambling boards, and the processing of any of these license-based requests? Then with regards to agri-tech, is there any process? What has happened? I know that this is a long process and has been spoken about a few times. Then with regards to Kenna Health, how is that rolled out? Have we communicated that through to residents? I downloaded it. It looks reasonably good. I will play around with it. Then the last question is a general question. If we're looking at STEM and we're looking at creating a country that accesses this part of society, are we also looking at support for mathematics for students at school level? And are we making sure that there are apps or technological support for students who are struggling with mathematics, with sciences, but have a natural ability that is not being accessed at this moment. I think if we look at that, we'll also be able to be more inclusive with regards to people with disabilities, as well as the youth going forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any other honorable member that wants
Yes.
to have?
Yes, thank you very much, Chairperson. I still sustain this issue that we must send writing questions. However, I have 2 or 3 questions that I would like to ask the department. I was looking at the presentation and people living with disability and their disability funds, because I want to check with them. As I look at the statistics are quite low, how many students with disability have they assisted? And I would also like to know the geographical spread of that students. Then in terms of, I also want to check, because within the presentation, there's also refugees within the country. And I did not see a single student which are a refugee in the country that was assisted with bursaries. And then, Chairperson, we have a huge challenge in the country in terms of students that are struggling with accommodation. And I want to check with the department, what are they intend to do to address this issue? And then also youth unemployment, it's high in the country. Yes, I agree with Honorable Sabandi, but what are the department do to, because what we see specifically in the rural areas, the youth, for example, in Northwest, the youth are just on the streets and they are not in institution of higher learning. What outreach programs do they have for those people or for those young people that live in rural areas? And then, yes, in terms of indigenous knowledge, what other department do? Because I know that there are a lot of people who are doing this indigenous medicine. What are the department doing to structure this people so that we can utilize the knowledge of that people? Thank you, Chair. My other questions I will send in writing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. Is there any other hand that I'm leaving behind before I can allow for responses? In the absence of none, can I just have a bite too? Because I think there is a similar sentiment that honorable members are having around the question of your youth and disability. Perhaps I will suggest that more elaboration can be made in the written responses that we are requesting within the 7-day period. That just to elaborate on that one, because it does have an element of discomfort when take into cognizance of the number that you are raising with us, and also the target that you cannot achieve. Instead, you included people that are beyond the age of being recognized as young people. So just to elaborate on that one. And then also on the question of there is an app that is costing an amount of 10 million called Ikina Health. And also that one, just further elaboration. I've seen in the slide that is talking about the question of communication and also assisting in ensuring that the patients are being followed up. But I just need further elaboration in terms of the whether to what extent is it being accessible, this Kina Health, whether it's across the country. As one member have alluded on the question of, in fact, I think it was a deputy Minister that was raising the question of our representation of the provinces. So if we have a mechanism of this magnitude, at least one so that can be able to follow it in his or her province. I will stop there. I will also follow what have been proposed that instead of going to detailed engagements, let us just write them down. I will also appeal to your good selves, DG, also to consider this element of disturbance now between now because honorable members are traveling. So in your response, you are allowed in terms of other things to be extensive in writing. Then you can just engage on those that you feel that they just need a clarity. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Chairperson. Maybe I take note that we will respond. We will respond via reports. We normally do that. It would be quite comprehensive in terms of what the members have raised. But perhaps maybe we could just respond to a few questions. I would request that DG Dan speaks on the BRICS matter. I would request that CFO address the issue of the finance part that was raised by Honorable Sibande. The others, they do require that we go back and give you a detailed report in terms of where we are, especially looking at the sector master plans, the DDM of what we've done there. Perhaps on the issue of the innovation, the Municipal Innovation Fund, this has just been approved at EXCO level because ordinarily we should have presented this to the committee some time ago. So this has just been approved at EXCO level and we are going to be starting implementation now. So we wouldn't have stats, but we will perhaps give an update as well in terms of that on where we are with that process. As well as maybe for now, let me just allow the two colleagues, and maybe if DDG Imran has anything to add, then we will take it from there and then definitely give you feedback via a written report. Over to you, DDG Dan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ADG Gugu, and good morning to the honourable members. Just to confirm that collaboration with our BRICS partners, both bilaterally, but also multilaterally within the framework of the expansion of BRICS, is a strategic priority for the department, along with the African agenda. Specifically also for the reasons the Honourable Sibande mentioned, in order to ensure that in strategic areas such as, for example, health innovation, energy innovation, or new manufacturing technologies, South Africa and the rest of the developing world develop its own capabilities. So we have an extensive BRICS program of collaboration, which sees more than 100 projects co-funded by the BRICS partners in research and innovation. There's a policy dialogue, and we are, for example, just preparing for the annual BRICS Young Scientists Forum, which brings young scientists from across the BRICS nations together in terms of supporting future collaborative networks. So we will be submitting complete details on this very important partnerships as part of the written response. Thanks, ADG. And I should note that our Honourable Deputy Minister, who was with us this morning, has just returned from the annual BRICS Ministerial Meeting on Science, Technology and Innovation, where she represented us. Thank you.
Thank you. CFO?
No, thanks, DG, and thanks, members, for the comments. I hope I heard Honourable Sibande's question correctly. He needed the details of the cards and whether the cards, as a result of the high spending items we had any impact, the extent that we had to request any additional funding for them or borrow any money for them. let me first start by the impact. When we experienced the cuts, we looked within ourselves in terms of reprioritizing what we have. We did not look for any additional funding outside. So from the cuts that we experienced for 24-25, we experienced over 300 million. So we looked within our budget as to which areas that will have a little impact if funding is moved from them to address the areas that experience the cuts. So we did not borrow any money, and we did not overspend. On the high spending areas, they were high spending in terms of the budget they took vis-a-vis the entire budget of the department. For example, the ones that we've indicated, if you exclude the parliamentary grant, you will see we've got 4.4 billion by only about few projects, which accounted to about 45% of the entire budget, which is quite significant. So we did not borrow funding as a result of the high spending item. They were high spending, but they were not overspending. They spent significant amount of money for our budget. Thanks, Chair. I hope maybe just to give maybe a highlight for the NTF as well, we experienced the cuts about 3 billion. We had a cut for the current year of 1.28 billion, and next financial year 987 million, and the outer year 10.31 billion. Still on this one as well, we had to reprioritize. Members would understand that if we go through that process, it means we have to revise some of our targets between ourselves, including the entities. Thanks. Thanks. I hope I've responded the questions as asked. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I give DDG Imran an opportunity?
Thanks, Gugu, and good morning, good afternoon to the honorable members. I think there's just one question that I want to kind of reflect on. Obviously, we will send more written comments, and that is around the intense interest on youth, which we completely align ourselves with. What we haven't done in the presentation is we identified things that we are doing, say, on procurement in relation to youth. But youth is a cross-cutting theme across the department. I mean, the bulk of the department's funding benefits young people. If we look at the big programs like the bursary program, etc., all of the beneficiaries there are young people, in a sense. Grassroots innovation program, the bulk of people there are young people. We have an internship program that we kind of supported 1,000 interns about in the last 5 years. Again, the target group is young people. So in acknowledging that, you know, youth development remains a core and central priority of the department, we are looking in the context of our next strategic plan, how to build on what we already have, which is quite extensive, and see whether we can further push the boundaries. And so hopefully some of the work and what we intend doing in this space will be presented to the select committee over time, and hopefully we can get your feedback. And then I noted the comment around refugees. We will see whether the data systems enable us to collect that information, which is a useful piece of information to have even for ourselves. So thanks, DG Minister, Deputy Minister, and others.
Thank you. Rebecca, as representing Program 2, anything to add?
I think, Acting DG, I just want to say that in terms of the work that we're doing in digital knowledge systems, but also energy sector, that we are taking an inclusive approach to ensuring that rural communities and are fully involved. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm not sure if there's anyone from Program 5, since DDG Mboneni is at the Portfolio Committee. But in the absence thereof, Chair, thank you very much. We will await the written questions, and then together with the ones that have been asked here, we will just submit one report that's consolidated. Thank you.
Thank you very much, DG. You will send them to Mr. Ekula, and this Ekula, you can make arrangement of exchanging the email addresses for further communications. But we will appreciate that at least within 7 days, so that when we are having our next sitting, we will have interacted extensively with your responses and also in the form of reporting on what we have highlighted and raised on the reports themselves. I don't know whether the Deputy Minister have managed to be back so that I can give him to make some closing remarks on the before I can make a formal closing of the meeting. Can you confirm, DG, if the Honorable Deputy Minister is back, or do we proceed to close the meeting?
I can see her name, but I can just check if she's in the meeting or maybe on standby. But let me check quickly, Chair.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, let me just thank you as we are still waiting for the response of the Deputy Minister for your attendance. I understand that we have the problem of shortages of venues. Even in our meeting this morning, there is no indications that we were going to be, we will resolve this matter soon. However, so far, I think we're doing well, understanding the limitations, but I think we're getting there with the technology. I must also thanks your patience, indeed, understanding the circumstances that we're operating under. I'm attending the meeting, but I'm just waiting for the Deputy Minister, if the Deputy, because I cannot close her out.
She's still out, Chair. She's not here.
Yes, please send our words of gratitude to her, and as he is the one that is leading your delegation, and also your officials that you are leading, DG. We appreciate your time and also the efforts of compiling the whole necessary information in order to empower us in doing our oversight responsibilities. Thank you very much to everyone in the meeting. The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Chair.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Goodbye.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Recording stopped.